Currently, NASCAR has been buzzing with controversy, and it all revolves around the latest developments involving 2311 Racing, Denny Hamlin, and crazy events during the 2024 Martinsville race. So what happened during this race and its aftermath has left us, the drivers, and even NASCAR leadership questioning the future of the sport's integrity. Let's dive in.
Ryan Blaney has won his way into the championship.
A great day for Kyle Larson.
Seventh career win in his 100th.
Joey Logano takes the checkered flag.
Martinsville is one of the most iconic tracks in NASCAR, known for its tight corners and nail-biting finishes. It was here, during one of the most pivotal moments of the season, that Christopher Bell attempted a daring move reminiscent of Ross Chastain's famous Hail Melon from the previous year. With only one spot left in the championship four, Bell decided to ride the wall to gain positions in a last-ditch effort to keep his title hopes alive. The move was breathtaking for fans, but caught the ire of NASCAR officials, who immediately penalized Bell for what they labeled a safety violation. This decision by NASCAR sparked an uproar, particularly from Denny Hamlin, a veteran driver and one of the most outspoken voices in the sport. Hamlin didn't hold back. On his podcast, Hamlin agreed that safety is a top priority, but argued that the penalty was far too harsh. He felt NASCAR was sending a dangerous message. For Hamlin, this was a step in the wrong direction, as these daring maneuvers are what make NASCAR thrilling and unpredictable. Hamlin's frustrations did not stop there. He delved deeper into the events of the Martinsville race, suggesting that race manipulation might have been at play.
If no one lets up, the 24 is out. There's way more than one car that passed. I mean, there was a brigade. If everything, I think, plays out 100% natural between all the cars and everything, I think the 24 is out. I think that the other cars were just parked behind him. A lot of times would indicate that was the case, and certainly it only took one car to pass him for him to be out.
Hamlin also pointed a finger at Bubba Wallace, whose performance in the final moments of the race seemed unusually subdued. Wallace allowed Bell to pass him, raising questions about whether this was part of a larger strategy orchestrated by Toyota, the manufacturer for both 2311 Racing and Joe Gibbs Racing. The timing of these events was certainly suspicious. Hamlin himself admitted that he didn't know if Wallace's actions were deliberate, but the optics were hard to ignore.
I don't know what was wrong with the 23 car. I'm not at the shop. It's Monday morning early. I saw video and audio. He about busted his ass with about 5 to go. And then every time he entered the corner, he was nearly crashing. So I don't know. I know that NASCAR inspected it after the race. They're going to make sure that what they heard on the audio from Bubba is factual, right? So they're going to look at all that stuff, certainly. But
as NASCAR began investigating these claims, Hamlin voiced his skepticism about whether the organization would take meaningful action. He expressed doubt that NASCAR would impose serious penalties on major manufacturers, given their significant influence on the sport. Hamlin also raised a broader issue: NASCAR's rulebook. He criticized it for being vague and inconsistent, leaving drivers confused about what is and isn't allowed.
Tire rolling across the track means a wheel is off, right? That is a definite thing. This was a tire wobbling in the wheel well. Again, they put such vague wording in their rules. It's what allows these instances to come up where they are always in these situations. Well, how are they going to interpret their rule this week, right? There's not enough clean, defined rules in that rule book because they just leave it open for themselves to do what they want or feel is right. And so that's the issue that we have, right?
As the investigation into race manipulation continued, the spotlight remained on 2311 Racing, Joe Gibbs Racing, and the broader NASCAR community. The outcome of the investigation could have significant implications for the future of the sport. If evidence of race manipulation is found, NASCAR will face immense pressure to impose penalties that restore trust in its leadership and decision-making. The Martinsville incident has also reignited debates about the role of manufacturers in NASCAR. Companies like Chevrolet, Toyota, and Ford play a massive role in the sport, providing funding, technology, and support for teams. But their influence raises questions about whether their interests align with the principles of fair competition. If manufacturers are found to be manipulating races to benefit certain teams or drivers, it could damage NASCAR's reputation.
NASCAR is not going to do anything to the manufacturers because that is their bread and butter. They do not want to do anything that upsets manufacturers because they've been trying for a decade now or better to get another one in our sport, and they certainly cannot afford for one to leave. I don't know what you do about it. Find them manufacturer owner series points, right? Because the manufacturers really do care about that quite a bit. We got to do something to reel this back in because it's happening way too often.
Another area where Hamlin has been vocal is NASCAR's playoff system. This format has been debated for years, with some calling it exciting and others criticizing it for being unfair. Hamlin falls into the latter group. He believes the playoff system undermines the essence of racing by prioritizing wins at specific times over consistent performance throughout the season.
There is very few people out there that believe that this format rewards the most deserving champion in our series. I think that's why you've seen a shift in drivers' mentality to win races. It's so interesting because Kyle Larson has got straight ones in every category, and he's not racing for a championship. You said in this format, or you said in this season, or when you decided this, that you wanted to put an emphasis on winning. He's won more races than anyone by a long way, and yet he is not part of the title fight. Kevin Harvick won 10 races and didn't get to race for a title. The format is broken, and if you disagree, you're in denial.
The playoff format is just one of many challenges NASCAR faces. Another big issue is the sport's finances and growth strategy. Recently, NASCAR invested a huge amount of $50 million to organize a street race in Chicago. While this event was intended to attract new fans and make NASCAR more culturally relevant, it didn't bring in the expected revenue. NASCAR didn't sell enough tickets or sponsorships to cover the cost. Despite this, NASCAR's leadership defended the decision, saying it helped build relationships with major companies like Amazon and Warner Brothers Discovery. This kind of investment shows that NASCAR is trying to expand its reach and adapt to changing times. But it also raises questions about the sport's priorities. We feel that NASCAR has been cutting costs in ways that hurt our experience, such as shortening race weekends. While these cost-cutting measures are necessary to some extent, they don't always align with the desires of loyal fans. At the same time, NASCAR's pursuit of a fourth manufacturer to join Ford, Chevrolet, and Toyota remains a topic of discussion. Adding another manufacturer could boost the sport's competitiveness and appeal, but so far, no new company is fully committed. NASCAR's legal battles have also drawn significant attention. The most recent case involves 2311 Racing and Front Row Motorsports. These teams have filed a lawsuit against NASCAR, arguing for a preliminary injunction to allow them to race as charter teams in 2025. A charter guarantees a team spot in every race and provides financial stability. Without it, teams face significant financial challenges, especially in high-profile events like the Daytona 500. NASCAR has pushed back against these claims, arguing that the lawsuit is being filed in bad faith. According to NASCAR, both teams had years to raise their concerns but chose not to. NASCAR also accuses Curtis Polk of using aggressive tactics during negotiations to secure better terms for the teams. NASCAR's legal filing suggests that Polk's actions, such as threatening boycotts and launching negative media campaigns, were part of a larger strategy to pressure NASCAR into making concessions. And that's it for today's episode. In the end, don't forget to leave us a like, smash that subscribe button, and ring that notification bell for more great content.